both travel poems. The first one, Bicycle Bells of Beijing, I taught English in Beijing a couple years, and the expats who were already there told me, you'll know you've adjusted when you can ride your bicycle in the streets. Because any given day there are 9 million cyclists on the streets of Beijing. And they said the other way you'll know is when you turn around and look at a blonde person, because it's that unusual. So this poem is called The Bicycle Bells of Beijing. Its other title is Orientation. The first week in Beijing, all I hear are bells from the sea of bicycles, moving in steady waves across the unmarked streets. No stoplights, no traffic signs. Bells ringing constantly. I can't discern the rules. So when Li Ming takes me to the bird market, at the first broad crossroads, I ask in clumsy syllables, Shadzong, who goes? Smiling, she replies, Dadzou, everybody goes. And so we do, merging and swerving into the flowing cross streams of cycles and bells. And somehow for her, a smooth path parts and she is gone, blending into a sea of green jackets and bobbing heads of gleaming black. But in this wilderness, I am the Egyptian. The green sea does not part for me. I halt and start and stop in the mass of bells as Li Ming sails gracefully from sight. Graciously she waits until I catch up, breathless, blushing, wondering when to ring the bell, asking, when ring? Shama shaho darling. She answers, always ring. Do darling. Then gliding forward smoothly, easily, Li Ming laughs over her shoulder, Bu ting the darling, never stop ringing. So I try it, ringing not for sudden warning, but the shared joy of it. Fluidly, constantly, saying, here I am next to you, so close but in concert, and the bicycles surround on every side, and I am lost in the spinning of the wheels and the music of the bells. So 3 weeks later, at the Lucian flower exhibit, when a blonde in a light beige coat walks by, I turn and look like everybody else. The second poem, another podunk American visits Edinburgh. It's about my recent trip to Edinburgh, where I finally understood all my Scots relatives. Right? Now I understand their stories, I understand their songs, I understand their spirit. This is another podunk American visits Edinburgh. Jekyll and Hyde of a city, Newtown merging into Old, Lothian dividing into East and West, where reputation is everything and nothing. Founded on the firth of the River Forth with heart of blood and fire and stone, built on battle and volcanic ash as sandstone buildings rise up from the rock they're hewed from. My walk takes me from the castle to tartan-touted tourist traps lining the Royal Mile, along cobbles and closes to the underground vaults, where Burke and Hare plied their inventive trade, among the city's destitute and long-discarded souls, while above ground the great and the good paraded their locally made finery. First world city of literature, from the Sir Walter Scott to the Burns Monument. Alexander McCall Smith sings his literary and artistic praises, but slip down a side street and I'm in a Rebus novel, as Rankin reveals the city's underbelly. And then I pose among the shades of poets in the little Kremlin room at Milne's Bar. Then wander through galleries for a dose of Scottish realism, gaze on Guthrie's A Hind's Daughter, Raeburn's Skating Minister, and then out to Saturday Night Wild as drunken louts from hen parties and football matches pour from raucous and ubiquitous pubs into the rain-washed streets. To the new Parliament, exuberant edifice celebrating the birthplace of democracy. Okay, so I used to think that was Williamsburg. As my practical Scottish host observed, well, the architect's from Spain, so maybe it would look right in Madrid. Anyway, it's what goes on inside that matters. I scale the heights of Arthur's Seat, craggy home of legends and little coffins, and hear the very stones cry out, stirring my ancestral middle-aged blood. And then I cry like a fool on the tour bus, after viewing the site of the massacre of Glencoe, where my kinsmen slaughtered by murder under trust, as their enemies demanded Highland hospitality for 11 days, drank their wine, devoured their food, then rose up on the 12th day for the slaughter. For cruel is the snow that sweeps Glencoe and covers the graves of Donald. And finally understand why, when my great Aunt Euphemia stood on the courthouse steps of Burlingame, Kansas, after my great uncles refused to join the miners' strike, shook her fist in the air and sang, "Fire in the glen, fire in the glen, but no fire in the eyes of our Highland men." Why, my great uncle said, "Oh, Effie, get away, way up." But then they slunk off one by one to join the fight.